It's live. So let's go over to the Technorama page and see what goofy expression we have this week. Oh, by the way, I like the album art cover with like the numbers are falling off.
Well, have you noticed the last couple of them? I did the same thing a couple times, and now I got a little pile.
Yeah.
I'll
Share
change it up later.
to feed.
Yeah, I'll change it up later. Make something.
I
new.
thought like as time goes by, we'd be like lower decks where things get added gradually over time.
Yeah.
First, it's numbers falling off. Then it's the panels on the back wall are hanging
Yeah.
loose. Then something is on fire.
I should take a whole panel out and make it look like there's people behind it looking through.
All right. That's the kind of creative ideas we have on this show.
Yeah.
All right. So we are broadcasting. We're about to start the audio podcast. If you're watching at home, thank you very much. We appreciate giving us your time. And nobody's watching online at the moment. They'll be joining us. But, some people watch later. And I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, we're on Twitter too. Do we get anybody who watches on Twitter?
I don't know. I need to go. I should go follow up and look. It's easy to click. Well, on X, you mean? Formerly known as Twitter.
Still has a bird on the icon on StreamYard.
Well, that's StreamYard, but yeah, that X. You know what?
Saying X sounds wrong, doesn't it? It's like, it'll always be Twitter. Just like it'll always be the Sears Tower.
I think it was. I don't know what his thought process was, but to me,
the man has no thought process. Haven't you figured that out yet?
No, that brand is so iconic at this point.
Yeah.
And it's easy for talk show hosts or whoever says, Twitter, everybody knows what that is. And then you want to change it to X?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Which just makes a whole bunch of confusion when you go, oh, how many X users do you have? Is that your ex-girlfriend?
Yeah.
I have X followers. Is X a variable, or are you talking about people that don't follow you anymore?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid to throw your brand out the window and start over, basically. And everybody still calls it Twitter.
It can work. I mean, HBO did that with their streaming online. They went from HBO Max to just Max.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it's a 100% good idea, but when somebody says, "Hey, did you see that on Max?" Like, I mean, with Cinemax?
I know people have said HBO for 100 years at this point. Yeah. Why would you take that out of the equation now? Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't know. Unless you have to, like you're breaking up a brand, kind of like Meta and Instagram and Facebook and Google and Alphabet, and that's a different story.
Well, wait a minute. Actually, Facebook kept those trademarks separate.
Right. But Meta is the parent company now.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, Instagram is Instagram. I know it's all attached together, but you don't say Meta Instagram or why.
Why? Why not?
I mean, it's just I'm saying it's a valuable brand. You shouldn't just. I think it was stupid just throwing it out like that. So.
Hey, when you make billions of dollars, then you can make decisions like that too.
You couldn't pay me enough to run Twitter. I don't know if I'd want to mess with that.
Not Twitter, but just he also has got Tesla and SpaceX.
I might work at SpaceX. Speaking of space, we got some news about that tonight.
We do have some news about space. Why don't we begin our audio podcast then?
All right.
Let's get this started. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Technorama episode 724. Goodbye, September. Hey, welcome to Technorama, the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If this is your first time joining, welcome to the show. If you're returning, welcome back. We appreciate you giving us your time. My name is Chuck Tomasi, and right over there is Craig Stepp. How are you, Craig?
I am fabulous, thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Just didn't do much. Just kind of walked the dog all weekend. That's about it.
That sounds like a metaphor for something.
Yeah, no,
And the dog.
no, that's
I
like
was I was
see a man
putting the
about a
house back
horse.
together because Donna's coming home tonight after her long cruise.
Well, my wife's coming back tomorrow night, so still got tomorrow to finish cleaning up. So
Remember last week I was talking about the door that was kinda off its hinge?
yes,
I found some longer screws. I had long screws in that hinge.
they're 3-foot screws.
Yeah, it's actually through 3 rooms anchored
Yeah,
into the neighbor's house, but we're
right.
good. No, there's no more it doesn't even stick anymore. It's hanging like it should, but I've only given it, maybe another centimeter's worth of life in that, you know,
Right.
but I got 2 of
I
them in there, 2 longer screws, and it works fine.
I've seen some of these videos on YouTube and a couple of things. They're one of those. It's like a DIY thing, and they don't really talk or anything, but they show how to take these zip ties and melt them down and use them plastic
Yeah,
for stuff. Anyway, one of them, which I thought was very useful, was they used toothpicks and they put them in those holes that
yes.
you're talking about, and uh, put a little super glue. Was it super glue and
Wood
not baby powder, but it was something like that. Put it in there, and then it'll catch the screw, and you can just put your screw back in.
Right. Wood glue and a dowel is typically what
Hmm.
we used years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of videos, what's starting to get on my nerves?
What's that?
Is useless shorts.
Yeah,
YouTube has the shorts, and
right,
I'll see a notification come up and says, like, "Latest ESP32," because I wanna go look at a new microcontroller, and it's a
right.
short that just shows somebody, like, holding it up and waving it around. I say, "There's no specs, there's no nothing, there's no useful information in there." Like, come on.
I
That's
know.
I'm gonna unsubscribe if people do that too much.
I'll tell you why they do that. Because YouTube was encouraging people to make shorts. A lot of the YouTubers that I subscribe to, all of a sudden I started seeing a bunch of shorts from them, and they weren't useless per se, like you said, but they were being pushed to make shorts, and they were tying that to their income that they were getting from their channels. So they were encouraged just to make shorts, and some of them they didn't say anything, like you said, or
Yeah.
showed something. Or I'm like, but that's why a lot of them did that or do that.
Well,
So
I'm gonna start leaving comments if I see many more of those this week. It's like,
I don't like shorts and all. Rare. Well, I
I
take it back.
I
There's been a
don't mind
few.
them. There are some that are very humorous. If they're done, if they can be done effectively. Like our teammate Earl Duque puts out some funny stuff. Like,
Yeah.
he has these sort of back and forth skits with himself. Like, "Hey, Earl, yes, um,
Right.
can you show me again how to do a a pull request in GitHub? Yeah, give me just a minute." Okay.
Right.
The first guy kinda goes away creepy.
Right.
So,
Oh yeah.
so he's got
That's a
how to tell the guy who works from home, you know, "Hey, Roomba, it's so good to see you."
yeah. Right. I know. I think I spoke to my vacuum like that. There's a couple of them. They're Dry Bar Comedy, which I subscribe to.
Yep.
That sometimes they'll put up shorts, and it's the comedian, and he's telling a few jokes, which is that's fine. And those kind of I'm all right with. It's I don't need if I wanted TikTok, I go to TikTok. I don't need a bunch of shorts.
They can be effective. I don't wanna go to TikTok. I probably will never go to TikTok unless somebody sends me
No,
a direct link and I don't have to log in.
right. That's what I'm saying. No, I
Yeah.
don't mess. I didn't log into TikTok. I'm just saying that if I wanted short videos, I go to TikTok. I like YouTube for the long form stuff for the most part.
I mean, I don't mind the short form as long as it fits the content. You ca
Hmm.
you can't just show me a microcontroller or an OLED display and go, "Here is the new OLED display that I have. It is 70 by 140 pixels resolution, and I like it." Like,
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you another one type of video I've seen a million times on YouTube. Well, I go to it to figure out or like to learn something, thinking I'm going to see this guy demo something, and he starts doing this thing, and it's super quiet. He doesn't say a word, but you can hear him going, you know, breathing.
It's
I'm like,
creepy.
but just speak, please, say something. You
Or
know,
play some music over
or
it.
you hear ambient sounds in the room, but he's not speaking. It's just I'm like, why'd you bother with the audio? Yeah.
Ambulance goes by.
Or some of the videos they have like these elaborate high energy intros,
Oh,
and then
the
when the guy
intros.
starts talking, hey, how you doing? I'm gonna show you
No,
this
no,
today.
no, it's worse than that. It's like boom, 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 whoosh, and then you get,
Yeah,
"Hi, welcome to my video."
that's what I'm talking about.
It's like,
It's like they recorded it from the other room or something.
yeah, invest a little more in a microphone, not in
or
your
just
opening graphic.
or just use the microphone. Yeah, or something.
No, get a microphone because 'cause you're using the one that's built into their laptop.
I
Anyway,
yeah.
here we are with this podcast that gets all of 35 subscribers, yeah, trying to tell the world how to do this.
Yeah, right. I've done my market research.
Hey, I wrote a book.
Yep. Yes, you did.
All right, shall we get into our feedback? We have been just been bantering like old men on this thing.
Yeah, get off my internet lawn. Mm,
Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters. I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say. Oh, boy. Mailman, mail today.
Huh, that's interesting.
What?
I pulled up our shares for the question of the week, right? And if I click show attachment, which would show your sharing of it,
Right.
I'm starting to see on Facebook the little red ring that says live, where it's
Oh, really?
yeah. So if you go hit the share and show attachment, it shows a little live.
I don't see live.
I'll take a screenshot and show you later.
All right. Looks like I didn't get any comments either. They're all on the main Technorama podcast one,
All
according to
right,
what I see.
go for it.
So we have Steve London who says, our question of the week, we should start with that. Question of the week was, what is 1 HP or 1 hit point of damage to you in real life? And Steve, with his always fun answers, he says, stubbing your toe on something is 1 hit point.
Right.
This is a house rule that I've had in almost all of our games. It even killed me once.
Uh-oh.
He says it started with 100 hit points. You take a sword through the head, and you've got 99 hit points worth of damage. It's just a flesh wound. You just walk it off. Then you roll a 1 and fail. You stub your toe on the door frame to the healer's hut. You lose 1 hit point and die in excruciating pain. But wait, there's more. A few friends of mine and I had this discussion a few weeks ago. As their number of hit points is different from character to character, the hit points isn't a rational number. It's kind of a sliding scale.
Mm-hmm.
How close is your body to the catastrophic failure? Death by 100 stubbed toes?
Okay. Stephen Wetchy says, when someone says they will ping me back at work.
Oh, and then Steve London comes back and says, yeah, then I die a little bit every day. Death by
Yeah.
1,000 pings.
Yeah. And then Stephen Wetchy returned.
Here, we'll just play Stephen.
Yeah, I'll be Stephen Wetchy, okay? I do as well. I have no idea why the Slang Brothers bothers me so much as it does.
Just don't roll a 1 on the don't be sarcastic test.
Yeah. Thankfully, I've submitted my place in the cantankerous system engineer as a cantankerous system engineer. So as long as I'm not too rude, I'm able to get away with a healthy dose of sarcasm.
Cantankerous. Now that's a title to have on your resume.
It's on his. I can see it on his door. You know. I'm sorry. You were reading the
one more.
Oh yeah.
One more.
LOL. It's in a loving way.
Mike Robinson says, Missing a live podcast or YouTube stream, remembering great podcasts from the past, seeing a picture of a beloved deceased pet on Facebook, finally deciding to consume that one tasty food item they were holding off having and finding it as spoiled. More
Hmm.
than one hit point includes watching a beloved book being made into a movie or series, only to find out it's centered on a completely unimportant aspect of the story. Reimagining! Another one is hearing they want to remake the movie Princess Bride.
Oh
The
God.
closest to a remake to that movie I ever want to know about was done with Deadpool.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yep.
And that's the responses we got. Wow.
It
If
was.
if you guys keep having conversations like this, Craig and I'll just act them out.
Yeah. We may change your voice up. Just saying. So
I'm
what's
not
a,
doing my best Swedish, okay?
right. Right. No, let's don't. So what's one hit point for you in real life?
For me, it, physically or mentally, because you've got different characteristics that you could.
Well, you pick. I don't know.
A hit point is your health status in
Yep.
an adventure game.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking more physical, but there are many mental things that just kind of take a toll.
Okay.
Uh, little things like when you throw that can into the wastebasket or into the recycle bin and you miss, and now you have to go over there and pick it up. You're trying to save the trip to go
Yeah.
to the recycle bucket, but now you
Hmm.
have to make that trip anyway. Like that wasn't much of a savings, and you just get deflated because your status as a good thrower has been
Yeah.
demoted a little bit.
I was thinking more like when I'm doing any coding and maybe I capitalize something that shouldn't have been, and it's hard to see because you know what I'm saying? It's not some a little thing that makes your code break, but then and you spend hours trying to find it. Maybe that adds up to more hit points than one, but
Physically, it would be when you're turning that, trying to put a wrench on a stuck nut or bolt or something, and you're forcing it, you're forcing it, forcing, forcing. Finally, it lets loose, or the head strips and the wrench moves anyway, and you
yeah.
slam your knuckles into something else,
Oh,
and you get all the bloody knuckles.
I've done
Or
that many
I was
times
I
working
was
on a
doing one
car.
out on our gate the other day. I was replacing a screw that holds the pin. Pin goes into the hinge. The latch that keeps the gate closed.
Right.
Well, the the pin is supposed to have 2 bolts in it, or 2
Right.
2 hex head screws, and it only had 1, so I kept flopping down and missing the latch, right?
Right.
So I found a couple more, but they were a little larger than the original, so I really had to refund them to get, I'm cranking to get these into the hole. This thing is going to stay nice and tight with 2 very large bolts cranking away, and of course, it slipped, and
Oh no.
on the back side of the gate, there are all the screws because it's got wooden slats that run vertically. So
Right.
every vertical slat has a screw at the top, in the middle, and at the bottom. And my hand went right over a couple of them that were sticking out the backside of the top of those slats. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's like, well, looks like I'm wearing a band-aid for a couple of days.
Yeah. Um. All right. One more. I'll tell you real quick. It's more of a phrase when somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I got a quick question." There's there are no quick questions.
There are, but usually the best
Those
ones
aren't,
are.
but they're not prefaced by, "Hey, I have a quick question."
If they're verbal, they're never a quick question. If
Right.
they're written, they usually are. That's
No.
what I found. If somebody asked me in Teams, "I got a quick question. Where can I find out more information about this?" I'm like,
No.
"Go talk to X."
I don't know. Rarely ever have I ever heard quick question and have it followed by a quick question. Yeah. Usually just ask me the stupid question. Oh well.
No,
All right.
that's, "Can I ask you a question?" They say, "Well, you just did."
Yeah.
You
All right.
should
See ya.
question credit.
That's right.
That first one's free. You just used it.
That's right.
All right. We will have more for you at the end of the show.
Another letter from our listener, Dave.
Dun, 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 dun. I had to remind the band what the song was. On this day in history for September 27, 2023, we have a ton of them, so let's move quickly. It's the
All right.
270th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are 95 days remaining in 2023. Hold on. I just realized we forgot the feedback that was in the mail. We
In the
had one
mail?
from Leon. He said, in episode 719,
Oh,
you were discussing the Sonic remotes that only had a few buttons and used tones to switch channels to change the volume. Yes, the ones with the little metal bars in them. The question came about how the next channel worked. When you pushed the button once and the TV went through the channels until the next live channel was reached, it's simpler than you think. There were mechanical pins in the TV tuner for each channel, 2 through 13. If the
Mhm.
pin was pulled out, the TV would not stop and change channel again. If the pin was pushed in, the TV would stop changing the channel. So the retailer probably set up those pins when the TV was delivered. But if you moved your TV to a different city or state, you had to call service to fix the channel finder.
oh no. That's funny.
I like it. Thank you, Leon. Good to know. We
Oh,
also
by the
had
way,
from Mad Marv. Oh,
uh-huh.
he said, discussion topic for the show. Would you read Patrick Stewart's autobiography? It's coming out in October, and the audiobook is read by the author. Ooh. Ooh, is there an audio sample? Pre-order. Try it for free. The name of the book is Making It So, and that's S-O, not S-E-W.
Right.
I would listen to Patrick Stewart read his own book.
I would listen to him talking about sewing.
I'd read that way before I read
Make
Walter
it.
Isaacson's Elon Musk book.
You need to make clothing? Make it so.
And
Oh, by the way, our buddy Dean Jensen says
yes,
that he realized that his birthday, which is on 9/21, is the same day when there's 101 days left in the year. How you like
coinkydink.
that?
That's
Yeah.
what reminded me that we needed to read our email because I was going, there are 270. Whoa, stop.
Yeah.
Yep. Dean has 101 days remaining when he gets to his birthday. Even on a leap year, because the extra day was already in the year. Okay,
Oh,
let's resume. Where were
right.
we? I'm gonna have to start it over.
Start.
There we go.
Oh, the music. I got
We're
you.
gonna need the extra time, I think. 270th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are 95 days remaining in 2023. It was on this date in 1822 that Jean-François Champollion officially informed the Académie des Inscriptions et Belles Lettres in France. I'm doing my worst French ever.
Yeah.
He informed them that he had deciphered the Rosetta Stone. He
All
got
right.
his subscription to Rosetta Stone. in
Yeah, I was gonna say.
1822.
Yeah, just use Duolingo. Yeah,
Dua Lipa?
Duolingo. 198 years ago today, the world's first public railway to use the steam locomotives, the Stockton Darlington Railway, was ceremoniously opened.
That same date in 1908, production of the Model T automobile began at the Ford Piquette Avenue plant in Detroit.
Detroit.
Detroit. Detroit.
That's right. It was 85 years ago today that the ocean liner Queen Elizabeth was launched in Glasgow.
September 27, 1941, the SS Patrick Henry was launched, becoming the first of more than 2,700 Liberty ships.
And also September 27th, 1956, U.S. Air Force Captain Milburn G. Apt became the first person to exceed Mach 3. Shortly thereafter, the Bell X-2 goes out of control and Captain Apt is killed.
Is that where we get the Linux command? Apt install, apt update, apt
Yeah.
upgrade, apt kill.
Yeah, he was the inspiration for that.
Okay. The British TSR-2 aircraft XR-219 made its maiden flight on this date in 1964.
And that same date in 1998, the Google Internet search engine retroactively claimed that it's claimed this date as its birthday. There you go.
Yeah, they just said, yeah, September 27th. That's good. Even though
Yeah.
they had been live for a few days before. They went, I think that was when they had their first search page. Something. There was
Oh yeah.
There was an article about that. Anyway, September 27, 2003, the Smart 1 satellite was launched. Everything before that was apparently dumb.
Yeah, dumb. 16 years ago today, NASA launched the Dawn probe to the asteroid belt.
Happy birthday goes out on this day to German mathematician and epigrammatist Abraham Gotthelf Kastner, born on this date in 1719. Do you know what? I looked up, what is an epigrammist?
What is that?
It's one who writes epigrams, of course. And then,
Oh,
of course,
God.
you have to look up what the F is an epigram.
Right?
All
All
right.
right.
3 definitions, but I'll leave
That's
it to
funny.
the viewer, the listener. I thought that was the funniest thing.
Right. French mathematician and academic Gaston Terry was born 180 years ago today.
He's French. He must be Gaston.
Oui, oui.
Gaston Terry.
Yeah.
Hans Hahn, the Austrian mathematician and philosopher. I'm not making these up today. Hans Hahn is his name. He was born 144 years ago today.
An American magician, Harry Blackstone Sr. was born 138 years ago today.
English astronomer and author and Nobel Prize laureate Martin Ryle was born on this date in 1918.
And I was getting a little Sean Connery there. James H. Wilkinson, American mathematician and computer scientist, was born on that same date in 1919.
Wow, wonder I should go look what he invented or came up with. Austrian-American physicist and academic Fred Singer was born today in 1924.
And also turning 91 today is American geophysicist Marcia Neugebauer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Greg Morris. He played on Mission Impossible, among many other things. The American actor. He's born 90 years ago today.
And Danish English physicist and neuroscientist Rodney Contrill was born on this date in 1933.
Wilford Brimley, the man with
Oh.
the most awesome mustache, was born 89 years ago today.
Yeah.
Wow, Wilford Brimley's slightly younger than my dad.
But he has diabetes.
Wow. I thought that guy was born at the age of 89. Okay.
I thought he was born old. And born September 27th, 1947, American singer-songwriter, producer, and actor, Meatloaf.
Does he like sign his name Mr. Loaf?
Mr. Loaf. Yeah.
That's 2 words, meat and loaf. I'm assuming one's his first name. Also turning 71 today is Romanian pilot, engineer, and cosmonaut Dumitru Prunariu.
And American computer programmer and author of Pearl, Larry Wall, was born on this date in 1954.
I thought he was the Google guy.
Larry Wall? No.
Sergey Brin.
No, that's not. Wrong.
Now I'm going to make you think.
No, I know you're wrong. I know you're wrong.
I know you are, but what am I?
Wrong.
Also turning 59 today. I'm messing with you, man. Also turning 59 today is American computer scientist and actor. Wow, what's with the computer people today?
I know.
Tracy Camp.
And American engineer and astronaut Stephanie Wilson was born on the same date in 1966.
American video game designer and dancer Matt Harding is 47 today. Okay. the music
Dancer?
is almost- Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe Dance Dance Revolution? Who knows?
Right.
I told you we were going to need all that time. We didn't even get to the listener birthdays. We got September 26th is Brett from Wales. October 1st, which is 101 in the U.S., is 101. And Stephen Weshy, happy birthday. Pronounced like the first part of wet and the word she. She. Got it.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you for the phonetics. And October 2nd is Adam Rumke. First part sounds like rum.
Yeah.
Second part sounds like the thing you used to open a door. Unless we're in Germany, then it'd be Rumka. Anyway, where are we going with this? Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Craig was going to put the link on
Yeah,
the
I'm
screen
trying to get over
at
there.
home. And that's the way it was on this day in history for September 27th. If you want to be on the birthday calendar, by the way, you can go over to chuckchat.com/birthday. We'll give you a shout out at the appropriate time of year. You know what? And if you do it in the next 30 days, we're going to let you assign the date of your birthday for free.
What?
You can actually pick your date on the calendar for your birthday. Normally, like the airlines, we would assign it to you.
What the heck are you talking about?
I'm continuing that nonsense we had last week.
Okay. Yeah, pick the day you want. It's all right.
It's free for the next 30 days. You could, if your birthday is March 13th, go put March 13th on there, because after this offer runs out, you just get to put your name in and we'll pick a date for you.
Yeah, and then you have to listen to all our shows and listen for the shout out.
There are some weeks that are just have less birthdays. We need to fill them in.
Yeah.
We need to load balance our calendar.
Load balance.
Let's get to some news.
Good
All right.
news, everyone.
We have found some good news. Well, it's curious news, I'd say, from NPR. They've found some carbon, potential carbon. The James Webb Space Telescope has found some carbon on Jupiter's moon Europa. That's the big icy one with
Yes,
lots of water underneath.
that's right.
Underneath like 10 to 15 miles of ice. And it's all kind of cracked up because Jupiter's gravity is tugging and pulling on this thing. And they think that if there's saltwater oceans underneath there, to the tune of twice as much water as all the oceans on Earth combined.
Yeah.
And get this, it's slightly smaller than our own moon. So that's
That's a lot of water.
a lot of water and the ice and probably a core on there, because it's got to be expanding and contracting. Something's got to be generating that energy. If you've got heat and salt water and carbon, there's a strong likelihood that
I
you're
can
going to have some life out there.
I can imagine that Jupiter does a lot of pushing and pulling to
Oh,
generate
it does.
enough heat on that thing.
Or
by
little
itself.
Io that's closest in. It's just like all over.
Yeah.
And Callisto. Yeah. It's a big old mess. So curious. They're not saying anything definitive yet, but next year the mission, is it next year or 2025? I gotta remember.
I can't remember either.
There is a mission going out. I'm looking for the date. Oh, get that banner.
2030. It'll be
It'll be
the
there in
Europa
2030.
Clipper.
The Europa
That's-
Clipper, it's launching, but it's going to be there in 2030. It's
Right.
going to be launching
in a year next year
next year.
in
That's
October.
right. Yeah. So look forward to that, because it takes time to get out there. They got to do some slingshots around the sun and planets and whatnot.
Yeah.
We
watch Star
also
Trek.
have- this one's interesting. You found another one here from Gizmodo, Craig. Amazon
Yeah.
restricts authors to self-publish. They're limiting you to self-publish 3 books a day, not read or download. This is publish 3 books a day.
Yeah, you know why, right?
Yeah, because people were just dumping AI garbage out there
Right.
and going, "Hey, I'll publish a book every 20 minutes." Now, there's something to be said of quality over quantity. But come on, George R.R. Martin, get off this. Let's get moving.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a they didn't say what the old limit was, and they wouldn't answer Gizmodo's question about this. But the
Hmm.
limit came about after a self-published book about the Maui wildfires this summer began making headlines last month. The book, titled Fire and Fury: The Story of the 2023 Maui and Its Implications for Climate Change. That's a long title. I suggest you clean that up a little bit. It's an 86-page narrative of the recent wildfires in Hawaii, with reviewers claiming that the book smells of AI.
Right.
The book's
Not-
description on its Amazon page uses the phrase "the book" to begin 5 of its 7 sentences.
Excuse me.
The description also mentions that the book covers a time frame of August 8th to 11th, despite the book itself being listed on Amazon on August 10th. So it's credited to Dr. Miles Stones, he also has a profile on Goodreads, with all of their books having been published in or after June of 2023. Sounds
Hmm.
suspicious. Maybe there's Mr. Stones is artificial as well.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
I think, 3 a day might still be a little extreme. Does anybody really can anybody publish more than
Well,
1 a day?
I can imagine if look at our buddy Scott Segler. Maybe he
He's
does
not writing
something-
a book. Even if you were doing
No.
short stories, Craig.
No.
Even if you were doing free short stories, still takes a good day to.
I know.
you-
I'm saying, what if you stacked them up? You were like, maybe you had 3 you were going to republish or something. I'm just saying, he's got a lot of
Publish
books.
1 at a time over 3 days.
I don't know. They're in different categories and all that stuff. So I don't know. I guess it happens.
It wouldn't kill you if you had to wait 3 days to
What
get
if
your
you
tweet.
what if you had some stuff that you wrote a long time ago and you got, but you did some editing and you're ready to publish them and you want to put 3 up there at once.
You know what I found with most self-published books?
What's that?
Is they're poorly edited. That's just been my experience.
Here you go. Don't be jealous. Hey, well, my
I'm not
dad,
jealous. I'm not trying to write books at this
Yeah.
point.
my dad, he's written several books and he uses a lady in Idaho. He found her online and he pays her to edit his books and they go back and forth a couple times. He likes to bear down on the she lives in Moscow, Idaho. So I was like, in Moscow. I was like, yeah, okay. But yeah, she did it. She was a school teacher, a retired school teacher, and that's what she does for a
I'm
living.
just thinking 3 a day still leaves the door wide open for AI fraud.
Oh, I'm not arguing with that. I'm just saying that 3 sounds reasonable because somebody could have some old stuff they've written already and they want to self-publish it. So
I wish there was a way to, like, watermark artificial intelligence content.
they've been talking about that. Yeah, I don't know how.
Yeah, I mean, an image you could do, but text, that's a
Yeah,
little
because
different.
it depends on what it says. What it says, it can be a little subjective. You go, oh, this sounds like AI. Well, the guy just is like that. I don't know, the art. So
Well, they also got into the whole, hey, what was it? The it says AI has begun to infiltrate at nearly every aspect of our workforce, with authors beginning to put their foot down over the technology.
mhm.
Comedian Sarah Silverman and authors Christopher Golden and Richard Kadri are suing OpenAI and Meta over their large language models allegedly being trained with copyrighted material. While both OpenAI and Meta mention they do not train on copyright material, the authors allege that some of the training's data come from a shadow library of sources like Library Genesis, Z Library, Sci-Hub, and Bibliothèque, which are internet-based torrent repositories that include copyrighted books.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Hey, so here you go. Short stories. What if you had several of those you were trying to publish at once?
I'd be okay publishing one a day and say, "Hey, I'm doing a campaign. Go out every." It would keep people going out and getting a new book. It's like, "Oh, I haven't been out there for a new book today. I
So if
missed."
I had 6 stories I was going to publish, it
Yeah.
would take me, in your world, 6 days, or
Why
I
not?
can publish them over 2 days.
Why not?
I don't know. There's
What?
different reasons. I don't know. There you go. Gary
Is it
also.
imperative that all 6 have to be published today, Craig?
I
As it
don't
is,
know.
it's gonna take you 2 days, so what's the difference
What,
between
what
publishing
if
your
they're
6 stories?
dying and they need to get them out right now? I don't know.
Leave
I don't
leave
know.
your spouse your password. Come on. Don't give
You
me
go.
that.
Gary also said footnotes required for the AI. I guess maybe depends on what it is. I don't know if you want footnotes in a novel, but
Oh, can an AI cite a source? Maybe we ought to just make sourcing mandatory, and then the humans would do it right, and the AI wouldn't do it, and there's your watermark.
for a little while because to learn how to do that.
But if
Or
it
you can-
does, then it's admitting where it got its content,
yeah, absolutely.
and then you're going,
Yeah.
"Aha, you're admitting you."
Well, to be honest with you, if I'm buying a book, I better not be written by AI because I want to read something somebody actually wrote.
Somebody's
Yeah,
opinion, somebody's viewpoint, somebody's
yeah,
imagination, somebody's
yeah.
world building. Yeah.
Now using it for maybe spitballing, and get some ideas and stuff. That's fine, but I don't want to read the text that the AI dumped out as a story. That's not fun
You
at
don't
all.
like reading hallucinations?
I like having them, not. I'm just kidding.
Will there soon be charges of premature dictation? Hey, this is a family-friendly show. Let's not use terms like that.
Chuck, come on now. It wasn't dirty till you brought it up.
Ah!
Now, as we're recording this, NASA hit a big milestone today. They actually brought back samples from Bennu down to Earth
Yes,
and brought them to Utah.
the OSIRIS-REx return module smacked down in Utah. It's funny because the picture at first doesn't give you an idea of how big this thing is. You picture kind of the size of an Apollo capsule. And then
Yeah.
somebody walks up to it. It's about as
Yeah.
high as their knees. Like,
Yeah.
well,
It's not very big.
it
It's not as
really,
big as you
yeah, it
think.
only needed to return this small soil sample.
But it got more than it was expecting, I think. They were because of the way as much debris that was shot up when they slapped the asteroid. A lot of material came up, and I remember they were trying to contain what they got because it was a little too much at first. So it sounds like everything worked out though.
It did, and they're really lucky because this mission is just fraught with challenge after challenge after challenge. When they got to the asteroid, they went, it's not really so much a rock as a pile of little rocks. It's a rubble pile.
Yeah, it looks.
That
You know what it
just
looks like to me. You know what it
mm,
looks like to me. When we go to the beach, we would go looking for shark's teeth. So we
yes.
collect the shark's teeth, and it looks like a little like a baggie of a little bit of rocks in it, like shark's teeth, like we used to pick up when we were as kids.
It looks like a baggie full of sand and grit.
Yes, I'm just saying it looks like it's not much to it,
Well, they had to change
but
the landing spot, so the new landing spot was like a quarter of the size of the original planned one. I'm like, "That's nuts." Now, they did say that they're keeping 70%. NASA is keeping 70% of the sample. The other 25% will be shared with over 200 scientists at 35 different facilities, and 4% is going to the Canadian Space Agency, and 0.5% will be given to the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA.
yeah, there's a percentage they actually keep for storage, so they in the future they can examine it once technology you know progresses. Because they were talking about that with the moon rocks. They was some of the moon rocks are still in storage and haven't been anything done to them until the technology gets better over time, and we're able to analyze it with new technology. So that's what they were saying. I watched the video. Did you
Yeah.
watch some of it? It was
No, I read the article.
I skipped ahead in the video because by the time I saw it, I think it had already happened. So I went back and I was skipping ahead, and I saw where they had a helicopter or something, camera up in the sky, and you could see the balloon. I kept going, or I'm sorry, no, the parachute. I was like, it's going to land there. It's going to land there. It's going to land there. But it's a lot higher than it looks on the video.
Well,
And I kept going. I kept going. It's going to land. It's going to land. And then a little bit later, it's going to land there. It finally landed.
the parachute opened at 20,000 feet, and it was designed to open at 5,000. So, imagine you just spent $1 billion, you got your sample, it's coming back, and then the parachute fails or something, or it opens too early and crashes. That There are just so many ways these things can go wrong.
Hmm. Yeah, it
Fortunately,
looked
they didn't. NASA's been doing some cool stuff lately.
that it was such a soft landing because of the shape of it. I was expecting it to be embedded in the ground a little bit,
Mhm.
but it looks like it just went. Poop. There wasn't anything around it. Even when they were cleaning it in the video, they were cleaning the outside of it, cleaning the dirt off so it doesn't contaminate when they finally open it. And it was like hardly any dirt or anything was on the capsule itself. It was just charred really well from space or atmosphere rather.
Well, yeah, when it came back into the atmosphere, it was like 5,000 degrees.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Should we move on to the Hacks and Strange Stories?
Yeah.
Now, I think you were taken in by the article title once again, but now
Oh
you're
no.
5 best funny hacking stories from around the world. They didn't really
Mhm.
get into the details of these stories, but I'll
They
give
did
you
not.
the fish tank hack in a casino in 2017. In Las Vegas, a small fish tank was used to hack into a casino's computer network. The fish tank was connected to the internet and had sensors that monitor temperature, food, and cleanliness. The hackers used the tank to gain access to the casino's network and access sensitive information.
Well, in all fairness, there is a link there to the article.
Ah,
Talk about it.
okay, so you can go read more. They
Yeah.
talk
So,
about the Bitcoin Twitter hack where they
mhm.
said Apple and Joe Biden and Elon Musk will double your money if you send in some money. Listen,
Yeah.
people, that's the clue.
Yeah. Orange is the New Black hack in 2017. A hacker group known as the Dark Overlord hacked into a production company and leaked the entire 5th season of Netflix show The Orange is the New Black. However, the group's plans were foiled when many of the fans of the show actually praised the leak and watched the new season early.
I like this one because it goes back to 1903, proving you don't need modern technology to have a hacking attempt. The Royal Academy of Sciences was preparing to demonstrate a long-distance wireless telegraph message between London and Cornwall using a new machine designed by none other than Guglielmo Marconi. Yeah, Mr. Wireless himself. Well, Nikola Tesla was also a wireless guy.
Yeah.
That's a different story for another time. As the demonstration was about to begin, the recipients in London started to receive some odd messages. The word rats was sent repeatedly until it changed to tapping out an insulting poem about Marconi, quote, diddling the public, unquote. The hacker was a magician and prankster, Neville Mascaline, and his interception proved that the connection was vulnerable and messages were not private.
Wow. And that was in 1903. That's pretty good.
Where's that what do they call it? The roll the encryption that keeps changing.
The
The
encrypted
the stuff that the movie star lady. I just watched a special and I'm blanking out on this.
the movie star lady. What are you talking about?
The movie star lady that invented the torpedoes changing frequency.
Oh,
Now you know what I'm talking about.
yeah. Yeah, it
Olivia
was
de
instrumental for
Havilland-
Wi-Fi.
Havilland.
Right.
It was
Huh?
was it Olivia de Havilland or was it
No,
no.
that doesn't sound
Eddie
right.
Lamar. Had to
That's
remember Blazing Saddles. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where my brain
Blazing
had.
Saddles.
Hedy Lamarr, and she did frequency
That's right.
hopping on the torpedoes that the Army then reused later, and she was never given any credit.
Yeah, because that is instrumental for Wi-Fi, I think, and right.
All right.
And they
What?
use it.
Yes, it is, and
Yeah.
mobile phones and whatnot. They should
Yeah.
have had the frequency hopping back in London in 1903. Anyway, unless you're
Well,
Homer Simpson, working at a
yeah.
nuclear power plant should be safe and secure workplace until a hacker comes along. Because
Right.
in 2010, U.S. and Israeli coders unleash a computer worm on Iranian nuclear facilities. At first, I thought this was Stuxnet, where they made the accelerators go really fast. Those poor Iranians, they're the victims of more stuff than this.
Right.
Well, although some sensitive information was shared and distributed, the other elements of the hack were what we would call out of the ordinary. They uploaded AC/DC's track Thunderstruck to the primary PA system, meaning that the tune would just blast through the building at random intervals.
So as they were rocking out, they were distracted, and we stole data. I don't know.
I'm sure they have many AC/DC fans in that nuclear facility.
They're
right.
probably like, "Who? I haven't heard this before."
Who do we have playing out there in our room? We got Mike Robison and Gary Lindros. Do
Yep.
we have anybody else show up in the chat tonight? Nope.
StreamYard. There you
The duck.
go.
Very nice. All right, then we shall move on to the patrons, because this is where we thank thee with names like Alexis Duran, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, Abner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Brian Brown, Chris Martinez, Chris MC, Dan D. Mancoyer, Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros, he's online, John Clifford, John Noble, Yorga Rowan, Crazy Joe Adventures, Kyle Nishioka, Leon, Mark Kilfoyle, Brad Miller, Mike Wills, Saturday Morning Media, Stephen Weshy, Steve Cody, Steve Therian, Steve Webb, Steve London, and Tim Cook. Thank you to all of you for your contributions. For as little as $1 a show, they went to patreon.com/Technorama Podcast. Viewers will see that on the screen. Listeners, I'll say it again, patreon.com/Technorama Podcast. I'm going to just kill that right there. They also get a special episode of Technorama just for the patrons.
Mhm.
They get a postcard, which we sent out. Hopefully you got those from Dragon Con. Otherwise, I'll call the Hilton and tear them a new one for not mailing them because I dropped them off on our way out.
Yep.
And some are even getting our T-shirt that we're coming out with. So we've got a new 2023 t-shirt for those $5 members. Thank you so much. Your contributions go to all of the costs of making this podcast. Craig and I haven't had to pay one dime out of our pocket for several years, and I can't tell you how happy that makes us and our spouses.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. They come
We even got-
first.
Craig was paying out of his pocket, then I'd reimburse him. Now we
Yeah.
just have that account hooked up to the Phonic that does a lot of the audio
Yeah.
post-processing hooked up, so it's like
Can't say enough about Alphonic. It's been good.
what's the 27th of every no, the date on that one eludes me at the moment. The 27th is when Google takes their $2 for the extra storage.
$2.
$2. Anyway, let's get on to what we've been watching. We are getting a little long in this show, so let's
Oh.
move it right along to the Hand Me the Remote. This one must be from Scotland. The one that you're gonna talk about. The Mackine.
No. No, The Machine. No.
Oh, it was M-A-C-H-I sorry, it's part of an old joke.
Oh.
I spell
Alright.
it and you tell me how to pronounce it?
So the never mind. So this is the movie with Burt Kreischer and Mark Hamill, which is made from or developed from Burt Kreischer's comedy routine, where he talks about how he was a teenager. Was it teenager? Is it college? He went on a school trip to Russia, and he
Mhm.
got involved with the Russian mafia on the train that all the students were on, and he robbed all his classmates. It's a funny story. I love him telling that story. However, turning that into a movie, stretching that, it doesn't work. I found myself looking at my phone and stuff. There were some funny things here and there,
Mhm.
but no, it's not that
Not
good.
not that good?
No,
I will
Mark
say
Hamill was funny.
I was
Um,
speaking of,
Hey, by the way, there was a lot of those scenes where the guy goes, "I've got this," and then you see Mark Hamill, "I've got this," and somebody else, I'm like, what are y'all doing? There was no real imagination. That's why
No.
it didn't really work.
I was in Vancouver this past week, and,
Yes.
our wonderful local tour guide was pointing out a number of movies and whatnot that were filmed in that area. Twilight, didn't
Mm.
see any of it, but appreciate it. You
Yeah.
go, "Okay, that's cool." So, Stanley Park is where a good number of the woodland scenes were filmed. It's, like, really kinda funny. You're driving around, it's like, "See the woods off to your left? Yeah, that's where a lot of that was filmed." Uh, The Adam Project was filmed in Vancouver, which is
Oh,
coincidentally where Ryan Reynolds comes from.
that's true.
He's
Yeah.
from Vancouver, so it's like it's like filming in your backyard. It's like,
I did kind of like that movie. It was a
yeah, I
Netflix
did.
movie. Yeah.
I wanna go back and watch it again because I wanna see like, "Oh, yeah, now I recognize the landmarks."
Yeah.
So that's
There's
fun.
a couple of movies that when I was working in downtown Charlotte that they were filming in Charlotte.
Yep.
And like one of them was Shallow Hal with Jack Black. And there was literally a scene outside the building I was in. It was the Bank of America Tower. And I remember watching the movie going, "Oh, I know that place. Oh, I recognize that restaurant," and a couple
Yeah.
of things like that. Yeah.
We went over the bridge that was in Deadpool. Like, they had to close
Oh,
down that bridge. I said, "Well, they could film today because 3 out of the 5 lanes are closed anyway. They should just
yeah.
for
Right.
construction." Yeah, they gotta go through a lot of hoops and circles to get that stuff done. I have been continuing my old movie watching just
Hmm.
because that's what Netflix seems to be offering up. I
Yep.
watched the 1975 version of Jaws.
Oh, that movie sucks. I'm just kidding. I'm just
It
kidding.
actually is holding up pretty
I
well.
know. I know. I'm kidding. Yeah, it's classic.
It is a classic. There were another, Mandela effect line. It's not, "We're going to need a bigger boat."
Oh,
Chief Brody says, "You're going to need a bigger boat." He's talking to Quint,
yeah, that's
and he
right.
says it more than once. But there are a lot of great lines in that movie.
Yeah.
The chatter that Quint does where they're leaving the harbor and he's talking about this, that, and the other. He's just kind of mumbling himself and singing little songs and whatnot. It reminds me of when I go to help at church, Okay, Doug is in the sound booth, and he always does his same little audio check. Instead of testing 1, 2, 3, he does this thing, tasty, tutti fruity, cherry chocolate covered. He's got this little phrase that he does every time.
Routine. He's got a
Yeah.
routine.
And then it's, he'll start singing the old like Fruit Loops commercial song or something. It's like he's like Quint of the sound booth.
That's funny.
So I was kind of chuckling to myself as I'm watching Quint go through his little routine in 1975, going, "Yep, I know how you feel there, Hooper."
That's funny. That's funny.
The effects for the time were actually pretty good, and they still hold up. Now when the big fake shark comes up and chews through the
Oh
boat.
yeah. Yeah. The shark has its moments, but yeah.
I also
Oh
finished
man,
up
hey,
season.
by
Yeah,
the way, that movie scared the crap out of me when I was a kid though.
it scared the crap out of everybody.
I know. That's right.
It was, and my family was into scuba diving at the time. Now,
That's right.
there's no sharks in Lake Superior, so you don't need to fear
Hey,
that.
none that you know of.
What you need to fear is the killer carp
Killer carp.
or the saber-toothed sculpin or the woolly whitefish. We'll tell those stories another time on another podcast. I also finished up seasons 2 and 3 of Ragnarok on Netflix. This is a modern day telling of like Thor's origin story. I'm not going to tell you how it ends. It does
Yep.
have a nice twist. You may or may not enjoy it or agree with it, and it'll leave you asking more questions than it answered. So the effects were well done. The story was well done. The conflict, they don't call this kid Thor, except
Right.
like in certain situations. His name given by his parents is Magna. His brother, as he later turns out, he understands is his half brother is Loritz, and
Right.
Loritz is obviously Loki.
Yeah.
And they've got the Utel family, who's the big, powerful, industrial, rich people in this town, probably keeping this town alive with their factory. The factory is poisoning the water in the fjord, and they're getting away scot-free because they're big and powerful and rich. So Utel in Norwegian is giant. They are the giants. So we have to have the gods come back and battle the
Yep.
giants.
Okay.
So it's a modern telling of that. Very, very creatively done. All while Magna is trying to finish high school. And he's not a star student. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
But I thought it was very well done. It moves a little slow in spots, especially when you're watching season 1 going, "Oh, man." But season 3 brings it to a conclusion. And you think it's done at episode 9 of 10 going, "Oh, that was a nice conclusion." And then it's like, "Wait, what are they gonna put into episode 10? Because there's one more." So you gotta watch that last one.
Oh yeah. Always got to stretch it out just a little bit.
Yeah, the contract called for 10 shows. You do what the contract says.
I didn't put it on the list here, but I've actually been watching Enterprise. Kind of, I guess, picking up where we left off. We were reviewing the show again on our topic is Trek, but
Is that what our assignment is for this week?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't know what our assignment is, but that said, I just started watching episodes, so I've been watching, I guess, where we left off, pretty much. But it's funny that I know people have been saying that they're going back and watching Enterprise, and they're finding it more enjoyable than they did when it first came out.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of falling into that same boat. I'm enjoying it. There's some stuff you go, oh, but
Yeah.
for the most part, I enjoy it.
I thought I had one more thing to say, but it looks like we're going into the Geek Library because we are coming up on close to an hour.
Yeah.
Let me play the Geek Library music then. The New York Police Department has unveiled K5. This is the subway's new robot guardian. We're just going to leave you with a video of this on YouTube.
Yeah.
But, judging from the picture I see in the thumbnail, it looks like a cross between a NASA space capsule. No, make that a
Looks like the SpaceX capsule.
SpaceX capsule and a Hershey's Kiss. I'm not. It's kind of an interesting
Well, we
industrial.
talked about these robots before in
We did.
California. I think they were using them at different malls and stuff. They would roam around at night, and these are going to roam around the platform. I'm not sure uh, how subways work, but there's an area where they'll be patrolling just to keep an eye on things.
Why does visions of Ed 209 come to mind? This
Well,
is it's being used by the police department. Is it
well,
got a weapon?
well. You know what? No, it does not. It's a way for somebody to use a camera and walk around without having to put people there. You know, and,
What's to prevent some hoodlum teenagers from pushing it onto the tracks?
well, I don't think it's on the track level. I don't think it's on the
Oh,
the platform. There's a
well,
I
that's
forget
kind
what the
of
other.
that's where your subway guardian ought to be, isn't it?
I don't know where how subways work. So yes, but
Well,
they're going to
you
be.
cut a
I mean,
hole underground. You make
I
this
know how it
tunnel.
works. I mean, I'm saying that they were talking about a different level other than the platform or something. So I wasn't sure what they were referring to, but so it's there. But I thought it was funny. These machines are kind of big, and it looks like they've had too many virtual donuts. Just saying, it's kind of big. But what else I thought was funny was that this woman was talking about her privacy and how she thought, I don't know if I like that. You know, got cameras recording me. And then the reporter is finishing up the story, and right above his head in the subway thing is a camera. You know, they're all over. They even
Yeah.
said they have cameras everywhere. This one's just mobile. You know, they can move it around.
You only complain about the cameras until you get attacked.
Yeah.
Then you're glad they're there so you have some evidence and some
Yeah.
witnesses.
I mean, I get it, but the thing complaining about the cameras on that thing, that horse has left the barn. You know, the
Long time
cam
ago.
there are cameras everywhere. So
Well, not in my bedroom.
that's not what I'm sure. I'm just kidding.
Don't
I
go
don't
there. Don't go there.
Yeah, no.
All right. That brings us to our question of the week. We're going to leave you on that scary note.
Yeah.
Question of the week is you've been abducted by aliens. 30 minutes later, they throw you out of their spaceship because you wouldn't stop talking about what?
Let me tell you about how great Linux is.
Almost sounds like whose line is it anyway or something.
Yeah. It reminds me of that Dilbert cartoon where the alien's talking to the boss guy, and he's like, he starts talking about Linux, and then the few minutes later, uh, he's telling the boss, "Do as I say. You got to use Linux." Blah blah blah. And then the boss says he fired him because he kept yammering on about Linux.
And the boss guy has no idea. He just
Yeah, he has no
it's
idea.
the latest buzzword trend that he's got.
Yeah.
Alrighty. We are going to leave you with that thought. Our Patreon show is being recorded next. Quick sneak peek. Craig's got a new toy. We're going to be talking
Yeah.
about Craig's new toy. Of
That's
course,
right.
if you're patron, you probably already listened to it, but that's cool. We'll get you there.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to it, all the old patron shows are available. When you subscribe, you get access to all the old stuff. So
And there's actually a lot of them there at this point.
couple hundred, 300-400.
We've been, you know what? Yeah, it's been a while. I was gonna say maybe maybe we should cherry pick a couple and release them here and there.
Well, let's see. We started them in was it early 2016?
Actually, I'm trying to log in and take a look
So
now.
we've done about 7, 8 full years, and we're doing about 35 a year. So about 70, 140. I'm going to guess it's north of 200. Maybe
Yeah, it
not
has to be.
200 yet.
Yeah.
Alrighty. With that, let's get out of here. If you want to get in touch with us, any comments about this show or any of the other episodes, you can reach us at 707-530-2428. Banner Craig, Banner Craig, Banner Craig.
I'm getting there.
You are sitting there with your hand on your chin.
I know. I got another hand.
I'm not going to ask. Send us an email, technorama@chuckchat.com. Show me both your hands on the screen at the same time. Find
Your
us on
mind's in the
social
gutter.
media. That's where I got it last time.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh, social media. Search for Technorama Podcast. You'll find us. Tell everybody at work about Technorama. That'll go over well.
Right.
Until next time, give us a binary high five, Craig.
All right. 101.
Take care. Be safe.
Thank you. Both hands.
Audio recording concluded. Waiting for the red light to go off. Ding. Okay, audio is saved. We be good. Oh, rats. I need to... I think I need to do something first thing in the morning. I was supposed to do it today.
All right. Well, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Yep. Bye, everybody. We're going to end the video stream now and go record our patron show. And then I'm going to pick up my
Later.
wife from the airport. Take care.
Oh, all right.